Council, I have for a long while opposed the excesses there. There was a 4-course meal with wine and porter on stage. That is now down to a buffet meal, and we usually do not attend that. I have been strident in beating the excesses out of Warwickshire County Council. The travelling expenses of Warwickshire County Council are £40,000 less than they were. I'm passionately against excessive expenses. And yeah, we are having an impact. Now, coming to this place, we have some things we do quite well. There are some things we're very tight on. But one thing we're not tight on is a civic hall. It is going to cost us around £630,000 this year. We are talking about what's happening to people in food banks. We're talking about what the minimum local council tax support is. We're talking about all sorts of things and making it clear that we've got hard times. But £430,000 is an awful lot of money to support the Bed of Civic Hall. I'm a passionate supporter of the Bed of Civic Hall and have tried to work out how we can make it more successful. And so our group is proposing we actually try and make the bar and the bistro into more of a going concern. Actually do some soft market testing and get an entrepreneur in, a pub landlord, a brewery, Wetherspoons or anyone to actually look at putting the punters into the Civic Hall. Because unlike Conservatives, I actually want to make a success of it, but I want it cheaper to run. On the borough plan, we are going nowhere on the borough plan. We haven't got the leadership to push us forward. So I'm suggesting we restructure the management team and get in a senior director, who will be an assistant director of the council, to actually lead on the borough plan and actually make sure we get one. There's lots of councils making progress. I'm sure we can get a member of staff who knows how to do a borough plan on time. And I'm very keen that we actually restructure the management team so actually we make this a no-cost option. So we restructure the management. I'm very keen on our town centres. I'm passionate about getting things like Wi-Fi and 4G into our town centres. I'm passionate about getting a tourism officer or someone in to help out encouraging people use our town centres. And I'm passionate about the market. I want to drop the market rents. Unfortunately, it's expensive to do that, so I'm suggesting we drop it in the winter periods, when actually the market is struggling the most, obviously excepting the Christmas run. I am sure we actually need to change our car parking charges. There's no point in charging after 5 PM in Nuneaton or 3:30 in Bedford, because there's very few punters. And to actually make that time more attractive, I'm very keen on moving the evening period to start at 5 PM in Nuneaton and 3:30 in Bedworth. And if that's successful, we may be able to move them earlier in the future. I'm really keen on getting Sunday and evening bus services. We have very few services at that time of day, so I suggest we halve, or actually remove the bus station charges after 6 PM on a weekday and on a Sunday. That doesn't actually cost us very much. And in terms of technicalities, yeah, we have a mayor's car that costs an awful lot of money. We have a mayor, yourself, carrying a very expensive chain. And I'm suggesting we do like a lot of other councils do, and have a day chain. Oxford and places do it, we have a copy of the chain, which allows the mayor to go places without having this valuable piece of gold, and actually allows the mayor to drive a bicycle, a bus, or in his own car. But I'm also suggesting we get a missing link.
Information. At the moment, with my medical condition, I could possibly ride a bike.
I'm waiting for when Ian becomes mayor, or my wife. No, but seriously though, it is very useful to try and make the mayor accessible. And I think one of the big hurdles is we have to obviously have a chauffeur and a chain and all that stuff. So getting a low-cost replica is something that loads of councils have done. So there's actually a day chain so you can actually go out without having to have valuable bits in your pocket. Anyway, I really want to be constructive. Yeah, I really want to get ideas to actually make the town better. Because we are suffering. Yeah, if you go around the town centre today, there are so many empty shops, so many fillet boards upstairs. They're all that wasted space. And we really need actually to be serious and actually recognise the town is struggling. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor. Does that mind a second then?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Before I go on to the items where I I disagree with the budget, and the Conservative group will be voting against the alternative budget. There are items in here that are worthwhile looking at. An additional environment enforcement officer. We all have instances in our wards and around the borough where there is additional litter, graffiti, etc. Car parking is an issue for many residents. They do believe it is too high. If I speak to people over on the western side of the borough, they tell me that they will go and shop in Alliston and Holden and around there because it's free. However, when I look at some of the other items within the alternative budget, I can't support them because we are looking at...
Excuse me, can we just listen to what Councillor Wilson has to say?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. We're actually looking at £85,000 potentially, if I'm reading this right, for Wi-Fi across the town centre, because on the second page it refers to £75,000, sorry, across the Nuneaton town centre, and £10,000 from the revenue budget. Now, it's only referring to one town centre. If you do it for one, you have to do it for both. But also, is it the service we should be providing as an authority? It is not a statutory duty to provide it. As has already been mentioned, there are other providers of Wi-Fi in the town centre. I would rather that £75,000 went to delivering other, more essential services to our residents, and I can't support that. Also, the civic hall box office, using that by one post. The civic hall does have its problems, and it does cost. I saw Simone shaking her head at Councillor Margaret's assertions. It does cost in the region of £630,000, because even when you take into account all the other charges we bring in, they don't always come to us. The bar is actually not always making a profit as it used to. The bistro, it has never made a profit over the past couple of years, and we've had pages and pages and reams of that as scrutiny. We need to get people into the box office to actually book shows, to actually use and increase the footfall in the civic hall that way to bring in the ticket sales. And I don't see how reducing the box office staff is going to do that, precisely at a time when we need to encourage people into the civic halls to see our shows and the private shows which are put on. We are in Nuneaton and Bedworth and Bulkington in a fortunate position that we can go to Birmingham, we can go to Coventry, we can go to Leicester to see all these other shows, and many of us will have done so. And so we have that opportunity, but it also means an increase in competition. And doing this will not make us as competitive as we need to be in the civic hall in terms of booking tickets and getting backsides on seats. And of course, we have the council tax increase of 1.75%, and I would never vote for an increase in the council tax at this budget. Even on his own figures, without some of those things, he doesn't need to do that. He could have quite easily qualified for the government 1% grant and not had to increase council tax at all. So we will not be voting for the alternative amendment.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Bond, are you ready to speak? Yeah. Are you now exercising your right as a secretary?
Yeah. Thank you. I just wanted to clarify a couple of issues that have come up. We've got a lot of puzzled looks, a lot of responses wanted. I'm known throughout Nuneaton, possibly through this chamber, as a very keen cyclist. I'm on my bike tonight. My bike was parked outside, it cost me £60, and I won't be losing any sleep if it's missing when I go out there. Like the mayor's chain, which is worth quite a considerable amount of money, I've got a very expensive bike. If I was on that bike tonight, I'd bring it in with me because I don't leave it out of sight. What we're saying is the mayor's chain needs protection. That's why we have a chauffeur who looks after the mayor and his chain. The day chain would be just less of a risk. It's a money saver. The same as the car. If you're not sure about what a Nissan Leaf is about, I would love to run a Jaguar, but I don't. I run something that's a lot less expensive. I don't have a Nissan Leaf, but if I did, it would be even cheaper than the car I'm running at the moment. So there might be costs involved as a one-off, but over a period of time, it would save the council taxpayer money. Okay? So we're trying to save money, not spend money. We're not incurring any additional cost on the council taxpayers. We're saving money. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor. Is there anyone else who shall speak? No? Can I ask Councillor Harvey?
Mr. Mayor, could you just excuse me? Just to start with, Mr. Mayor, you are wearing the old Bedworth chain. For the information of Councillor Congarker and Councillor Bonner, it is not split up. So we deliberately had this chain dipped some years ago. So that's all it is, a slight covering. So that the other chain, which would be the Nuneaton chain, and which is older and more fragile, was not put in danger in terms of either theft or damage on an everyday basis. So in fact, the Mayor is wearing the daytime civic chain. So the £3,000 has been said would be a complete waste of money. There you go, the horses now.
Cost £14 in 1928 from asking the Jews.
Can I explain the green marks on the shoe?
Mr. Mayor, the bit, just going down a little bit, I'd actually increased litter fines not from £75, but £750 or £7,500. I followed cars on the Bedworth bypass in the pouring rain the other day. I would have taken all their numbers if I'd been able to see them in the weather, throwing litter from the windows as they went along, and it cost us £6,000 every time we clean the place. But in fact, it's extremely difficult to catch these people. I think it's a national problem that needs to be tackled nationally, and some severe penalties introduced for these people, Mr. Mayor, who are a burden to the vast majority of residents. In terms of the bus station, buses were stopped in the evenings and Sundays because Warwickshire County Council removed the subsidy from the buses. That's when they stopped, and that's when the Stagecoach removed those buses. It's not because of the charge in the bus station. Further down, it talks about lowering market fees in Nuneaton by 20%. Yet, on the 22nd of January, I was written a letter, dear Mr. Harvey. I'll cut it short, Mr. Mayor. It says, the Market Traders Committee want to thank you for the excellent service we received from yourself and your colleagues. It's exemplary and offers good value for money. So we have it there again from the horse's mouth, Mr. Mayor. Our market charges in Bedworth have to be the lowest in the country, at £8.25 a stall, and in Nuneaton they reflect the prime retail position of those stalls in front of a shop which is paying far more in business rates for that day trading than any market stall is. Further down, we then get providing Wi-Fi for the benefit of everybody down the town centre. Well, Mr. Mayor, I'm sorry, if you can't manage without Wi-Fi between these places you can get it and getting home again, well, you need to get a line, and it shouldn't be funded by this borough council and its residents. Restructuring the management team will cost us nothing. Well, in actual fact, we've got a dedicated director from the borough club. It's Ian Powell, but Councillor Condarker said at one point we need to get a member of staff. Now, we do pay our management team lower than anywhere else in the county, Mr. Mayor. We've been proud of keeping management costs down, but even I wouldn't go as far as to pay somebody nothing. Then over the page...
Make it a point of information.
The net change was nothing. We pay the new person the same as we liberate from management changes. We do not pay people nothing. I was advised by the finance officers the net charge is nothing.
Thank you for that.
Well, I'll change the word liberate, Mr. Mayor, because if we've got somebody employed, where do they go? We make them redundant, and what do we do? There's a cost for that. On the next page, it's already been mentioned about we only have one civic bonfire, but it's not mentioned where it's going, nor the fact that all these voluntary organisations, the Lions and Rotary and so on, are the ones who actually run the bonfire. All we're contributing towards is the fireworks. And we're doing it so that people in both towns can go to a safe event. And it's not safe if everybody in a population of 126,000 all have to go to one place. We then get a little bit further down. We're increasing car park tickets here. We're reducing them there. All this is without any sort of evidence, Mr. Mayor. In actual fact, our car parking charges are extremely reasonable. Extremely. There's a lot of free parking, particularly in Bedworth, and in Nuneaton they are extremely reasonable. The car park that we made available at the back of this building, we changed it from a staff car park to a public car park, is almost every single day of the week, because our town is full of people. And I can only think that Councillor Kondaka is walking around another town centre than Nuneaton. He doesn't mention walking around Bedworth very often, but in terms of Nuneaton, he's walking around a different town than I'm walking around, because on Saturdays, you cannot move. I move, Mr. Mayor, well, I don't need to move.
Thank you, Councillor. I now intend to move to the vote on the amendment.